Welcome to the world of hypnosis. Here I will explain the benefits of modern-day hypnotherapy, including neuro-linguistic programming for clients who are suffering from anxiety. In order to completely eliminate anxiety and fear, NLP techniques can be utilized to reduce anxiety which drastically impact a client's life. It's not always possible to grasp a way to feel about one thing while not first making some sort of visual imaging concerning it. For those clients who display any amount of hysteria, they are clearly making use of their subconscious mind for anxiety to occur. And as we, as intelligent individuals, know only too well, the subconscious mind is pivotal to life's desires. Clients with anxiety produce vivid mental images magnificently. It's simply that they take their time and use their focus to form a dilemma. However, they also have the ability to do the precise opposite. The challenge is to find out how to use this ability in a way that produces the results needed instead of those that are not. Many people have experienced anxiety in one form or another, but for those who continually experience it, it can become very debilitating. Fear is a useful emotion when it is experienced as a result of an immediate threat. However, anxiety is almost exclusively future-based and generated by imagining an event going badly wrong. Chronic fear is very common in those who cannot handle anxiety very well. The good news is that anxiety doesn't mean there is something wrong with the person who experiences it. Quite the contrary, in fact. Anxiety can, however, drastically impact one's life in a very heightened way. Anxiety is a direct reflection of the brain working perfectly. It's only that it's functioning in a way that protects the person who is experiencing memories of things that have happened in the past in anticipation of things that may happen in the future. These are simply mental processes formed in the imagination. All that's ever real is the exact moment you're in. Past and future events are not responsible for fear and anxiety. The only thing to change is how the imaginary scenes are constructed in the present moment. And this takes place by harnessing the power that your mind already has. If you are somebody who performs anxiety well, then you create extraordinarily detailed scenes of horrible things happening when this takes place. The brain goes into protective mode because it believes the imaginary scene to be true, and you will experience all of the emotional states that relate to extreme fear when you realize that you are the creator of your own anxiety simply by the way you use your imagination. You can understand how the power has belonged to you the entire time. If you don't do that mental thing you do when your anxiety happens, it won't happen anymore. So, how did you learn to do this, and how do you change it? Anxiety is learned as a protection mechanism from an early age or due to something that was perceived as a traumatic event. It's then stored in the subconscious mind so that the brain knows when to scream danger at you by causing you to have unpleasant feelings. Sometimes certain subconscious truths are developed by making incorrect interpretations of events, and these will cause anxiety, or it could be that something traumatic actually did happen in the past. But when we change the meaning our conscious mind has assigned to the past events, we can instantly change the feelings that are created about that particular experience, and this offers the freedom to create new mental patterns and experiences in life. The meaning assigned to a memory creates the corresponding state of being the only way to know how to feel about a past event or about an imagined future event is based on the meaning assigned to the memory or imagination by the subconscious mind. When the brain remembers an experience in a different way, the meanings subconsciously assigned to that experience will also change. Therefore, if you change any part of a memory, you will change the label of that memory and any corresponding feelings that relate to past or future events that are similar. Your mind will forget why it should feel the same way about the memory because you changed the mental recipe that was used to create it to begin with. I'll show you how to change the way your brain has encoded a past event that causes you to feel anxious. Close your eyes and bring up the image of the thing that makes you feel fearful or anxious. This could be a past event or something that you anticipate happening in the future. If you're not sure what image to use, ask yourself where specifically you experience your anxiety or when specifically you do it. Once you have this image in your mind, be observant of the qualities it has that bring up the negative feelings you experience. When thinking of it, rate your negative feelings from 0 to 10, with 0 being neutral about what is happening and 10 representing the highest feeling of anxiety or fear. Notice whether this image is in black and white, or if it's in color. If it is in color, change it to black and white to completely eliminate anxiety and fear. If it's already black and white, simply leave it that way and be sure that the image is in black and white before moving forward. Take as long as you need to do this. Observe whether your mental image is in motion or if it's a still frame. If there is motion in this scene, freeze it into a still shot. Take your time to do this so that you are now viewing a black and white still frame of the experience you've imagined that creates your anxiety. Take a moment once again to rate your negative feelings from 0 to 10 about this experience. Now imagine that you have a dimmer switch that you can use to change the brightness of your image mentally. Turn the brightness way down until your image is almost completely dark, and watch the image become dimmer and dimmer. As you do this in your mind, rate your negative feelings about this image again. Where are you now on a scale of 0 to 10? Now imagine that you have a switch to change the contrast on this image. In your imagination, use this switch to take this image from clear to blurry. Your image will now be black and white and still framed, very dim and blurry. Ask yourself how you feel about this image. Now, by this point in the process, many people find that the intensity of the negative feelings has decreased significantly. However, if you still have some negative feelings about it, move on and imagine that your image is shrinking down to a quarter of its size. Watch as it shrinks smaller and smaller in size. Be certain that you are now seeing a tiny black and white, very dim and blurry still frame of your imaginary scene. And then once again, rate yourself on how you feel about it from 0 to 10 or 0 to 10. Take this very tiny black and white blurry still frame picture that is very dim and imagine sending it 1,000 feet behind you until you can no longer see it. What does this do to your feeling states about this imaginary scene on a scale of 0 to 10? By now you should feel completely neutral about this thing that makes you feel anxious. If you're not at a 0 yet, it will simply be that your subconscious mind doesn't want to let go of the meaning just yet. But with a little more conscious effort, you will completely change the assigned meaning it has created, and it will relinquish its stance on how our inner models affect our behavior. Our behavior affects our feelings, and our feelings affect our quality of life. When you're able to understand the power that your imagination holds and eliminate your anxiety by using it consciously, you can break free from self-imposed limitations and begin living a life of freedom completely designed by you.